I'm Emma Went, and this is my third season with the Scranton Shakespeare Festival. I also work with actors as a private monologue coach, and today we are going to talk about breaking down a monologue. For our reference, we are going to play with a piece that you're going to hear from us a little later this summer. So this is Hal's I Know You All from Henry Ford. So if we were to work on this speech together in a production, or if you were to bring this speech to me or any other speech as a monologue coach, the first thing I would ask you would be, 1, what story of yourself are you trying to tell within the piece? This means basically, what do you personally identify with the most about the character's circumstances, language, or what they're trying to communicate? And I ask us to be on the watch for this from the very beginning, because all of the technical work will be informed by what you personally bring to the Shakespeare, because it's coming out of you. 2, now we turn to the text itself. One of the things that we might ask ourselves right from the beginning would be, how regular is the verse if the speech is in verse, and this one is. By this we mean, how neatly does it fit into the regular pattern of the iambic line, which we know as a line of 10 syllables in a stressed and unstressed pattern that sounds like this. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. I know you all and will awhile uphold the unyoked humour of your idleness. We do this detective work because you can learn all kinds of things about a character's intelligence or their class or even just their emotional state based on whether or not their language seems to fit evenly inside the container of the verse, or whether it seems to be sort of spilling outside the bounds of the verse messily with all kinds of extra syllables or uneven stresses or features like that. So if you go ahead and check, you'll find that this speech is almost perfectly regular, which indicates perhaps that Hal has a pretty steady hand on what he's trying to say to us here. Another tool I might ask you to use is for us to sound the text, meaning to sort of release the logic of the sentences and just roll the words around in your mouth. This can also teach us a lot about a character's emotional state, because someone communicating in a lot of big, open vowels is probably coming from a very different place than someone who seems to be contained by a lot of crisp, tight consonants. The great thing about this work is that after we slow down the speech and sound it, somehow all of that ends up staying inside the body and informing the performance when we speed the speech back up again. 3, I would ask you to look at the position of the speech within the play. Ask yourself questions like, what has just happened to the character? Who are they speaking to? How do they feel about who they're speaking to? In the case of this speech, this is direct address. Hal is speaking directly to the audience, and this is the first time in this play that a character has done this. And also, the first words are, I know you all, and then he goes on to offer us information that no one else in the play actually has. So everything about this indicates to us that this is a character that we're going to have some kind of special relationship with. 4, I would ask you to beat the speech. This means to break down the speech into its beats and sort of isolate the thoughts so that you can better track how they drop in for the character and what is propelling the monologue forward. Oftentimes, images have a domino effect that is more sensory than logical. A character thinks of an image that makes them think of another related image or a contrasting one. For Hal, tracking the beats might have more to do with him trying out one metaphor and not feeling totally satisfied with it, and then scrapping that and trying another and another until he arrives at something that feels right, and then isolates it down to its point in a rhyming couplet. And 5, now that we've set out to ask ourselves, what about the speech feels most personal, investigated the verse and the sounds, made choices about who the character is speaking to and how the beats of the speech build, now you could ask, how is the character different, having said the things that they've said? The most dynamic version of a speech is often one that actively wrestles with a thought or a feeling, producing some kind of profound inner change. So for Hal, I might ask, now that you've shared with the audience what it is you're going to do you feel strengthened by having us as allies, or more vulnerable, having shared so much with us? And 6, as a little bonus, I might ask, what is the headline? Is there a particular line in the speech that you feel you can kind of distill it down to, or that functions for you as a sneaky key to the rest, or the summit of the build, or just the most important thing the character is trying to say? So as a small tease, I will share with you that the actor playing Hal this summer feels that way about "and pay the debt I never promised." So to figure out why and to learn a lot more about Henry IV, I hope you join us when we release it later this summer.